Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great sadness that I have to announce that Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, died today. How can I say this? It's very, very difficult, even for me as an American, but my English wife has brought it home. She was a great woman. She sat on the throne for 70 years and 214 days, according to these notes I got in front of me. The longest serving British monarch and the second longest monarch in world history. Only Louis XIV of France beat her out by just a bit. She was born April 21st of 1926 and died today in Balmoral Castle in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, at the age of 96. At the time of her death, she was Queen of Great Britain, the United Kingdom, excuse me, and 14 other Commonwealth realms. Elizabeth Alexandria Mary Windsor. The Queen is dead. God save the King.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
This town needs an enema.
Hey guys, everybody, welcome. Thank you, Dan. That was touching.
Um, about couldn't do it.
It was rough on my side too. Uh, I may need to go see the doctor. My vision's getting real blurry for some reason. Uh,
Well, I got a good reason for mine, but
yeah. Zach, I just sent you a link. Rich, if you want to jump in, just holler and I'll try to send you a link. I don't know if I've got you on my friends list or not, but if you do, Zach, I got you on, sent you one on Discord. Zach is from Canada, so this affects him also.
yes, indeed.
Uh,
Yes, indeed. And I got to tell you, The bagpipes have been messing me up today
Oh, I
since I
bet.
got home. Lindsay's been watching the BBC, and they have been heavy on the bagpipes.
Oh, yeah. Uh,
And
I was tuned in to something else, and they made the announcement, so I hopped in over on YouTube, and ITV is broadcasting on YouTube live. Uh, I think BBC's live on YouTube. I mean, it's all over YouTube.
it's all over everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, BritBox, uh, the Roku channel, lots and lots of things. And naturally, the trolls have come out to play.
They'll get over it.
Um,
We don't even give them the. Let's not even give them the satisfaction.
my advice to anybody that's encountering a troll during this sad
Don't. Yeah.
period,
Don't
block them.
feed the trolls. Just
Don't
don't
say a
feed.
word. Don't say a word. Just block them. It's not
No.
worth it. It's not worth getting into it.
If you stop feeding the trolls, they go hungry and move on.
Hmm.
Uh, but since Zach was in here, let me see if I can. I I want to pull something up on YouTube because there is some sort of breaking news out of Boca Chica, Texas,
Oh, okay.
and of course I get a commercial.
Of course.
Uh,
These things, they happen. Can't have a cup of tea without an advert interrupting.
yeah, I was going to
Oh.
see if Zach
Hey,
had.
Ace.
There's somebody. Who is
There's
that?
Rich.
Rich. Hey, Rich.
How's
How
it going?
you doing? Uh,
As good as can be expected.
yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Uh,
let me find it. Let me get back to it. Uh, there is a slight issue in Boca Chica, Texas right now. They did a static fire today, testing the, um, you know, testing some engines. And, okay, yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm going to show this because they did the test at 4:30 today. And they had a little off nominal incident afterwards. I'm pulling it up here. This is live. This is Lab Padres. Uh, um, Dang it. I'm on the wrong screen. Give me a second. I am not
it's
good
all
at
right.
on the fly breaking news. But yeah, let me also throw hi to Donna and Carl and Ace and who else is
Ace.
uh,
Well, Rich. Rich, but he's here now.
yeah,
Um,
um,
this is
Or
this is
am
why
I?
we need Lewis. Actually,
yeah. This would be uh, Lewis's territory.
definitely.
Uh, yeah,
I think I even tread a little bit on Lewis's territory, but
yeah, yeah. But
that
again,
that
there's an
is a
off. Yeah, there is an off nominal situation at the Starship launch facility. They did a static fire and ended up with an actual, true, honest to goodness dumpster fire. The dumpster about uh, oh, it was probably 150, 200 yards from the rocket, caught fire. Plus, we've got this going on.
and I see which way the wind's going.
Yeah.
That's not
Well, the good
normal.
thing is the rocket is way off to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Joe told me about that, I go, that's an awful lot of tumbleweeds.
Yeah. Donna Carlene says, that's not what's meant by a static fire.
Well, it's not moving.
And Carl goes, holy crap, that's a wildfire. Yeah. The last time they did this was the first time they flew the little star hopper,
Uh-huh.
and it was bad. So right now they're just sort of letting it do its thing because it's got a salt flat on this side of it. On the other side is the Gulf of Mexico, and it narrows down to about 100-yard wide thing as it reaches the road up on the other side. So they may just let it burn out, and that way that gets all the undergrowth out of the way.
Well, yeah, sometimes you would have to do that because undergrowth is one of those things that's hard to keep clear anyway.
Yeah.
This will
And there's
definitely
Zach.
clear it. Hey, Zach.
Zach, let me
Um,
pull that off since you're on here. Don't want to get any confusion done there.
You're all good.
Is anybody taking the dogs out? They probably need to
Nice little fire.
Yeah.
yeah. I got marshmallows, but I don't think I have a stick long enough.
Yeah, I don't think they've let people through. I haven't been watching it for the last couple hours, but are the fire trucks still at the roadblock? Or they've been let through?
I don't know. Let me go.
I'll be back in a second. I have to deal with canine underlords.
Oh,
yes.
goodness. All right.
And Carl, I don't know if that's a drone. I thought it was just an airliner going past, and I was
Okay,
hoping
so-
that they wouldn't mistake
No,
the fire for
that's a
landing
drone.
lights. It
That's a
is
drone.
a drone? Okay.
Yeah.
And the fire trucks are still at the roadblock, so they haven't let them through. I was hearing that they may have had a risk if they didn't want to detank based on how close the flames were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
that would explain to me why they haven't let the fire crews through. What, 3 hours, almost 4 hours later?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Elon says that's why they test. They want to have it happen now.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
And that dumpster is automatically empty now.
Just recycling, just
You-
burn it.
And
the carbon footprint's getting a little bigger.
now another hotspot just flared up by the launch tower.
I want to know what's causing them. What's flaming up? Because it's been moving around.
Trolls.
A lot of those today.
Yes. And not the fun kind that they make movies about.
And Carl just said, hi, Misty. That must be.
That's for Rich's wife.
Oh, okay. And Stellar Form says they're probably treating it as a controlled burn now.
Yeah. That sounds like a very good choice, actually. Especially given the geography that you described. I mean, as long as it don't go near the tank farm, let it run to the beach. Hopefully there are no people there.
No.
I didn't think they would be allowing people that close on the beach. So.
This must be some of your people, Zach.
I
Jeffrey.
think so. We were all in Discord talking, so
Oh, okay.
like here's the link. So I know Stellar is for sure. I'm assuming Jeffrey is who I think it is as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, Jeffrey, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. We are a show that spends 2 hours talking about nothing and keeping a conversation going the entire time.
And sometimes it's a great deal of fun.
Yeah. And you may actually slip up and learn something if we do it right.
Yeah, but we'll be sneaky about that.
So, Zach, I wondered if you were going to tune in tonight. So, I hope you appreciated our opening.
Loved it. I thank you for doing that. So it's been a day.
Yeah, it's going to be a week.
It's gonna be a long time. It's 14 days of mourning for the funeral, and then
Yeah,
eventually we will get to a coronation. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is the lot of little things that change. We were
yeah.
watching our evening news here, and ours is the Alberta Queen's Bench, and they've already changed it. It's the Alberta King's Bench, and it's just the little things that you've just always known that you don't
Yeah.
remember that need to change.
Lindsay pointed out that there are a lot of people that are going to have difficulty adjusting to the anthem being "God Save the King" now, and
Well,
the catch in her voice. Let me tell you, this is just. I mean, she's from Portsmouth, born and bred. She is British through and through, and it's just she knew it was going to happen. She had been expecting it for a while, but it's still um, devastating. And she is wearing black right now. I'll tell you that. Um,
well, you see Zach wearing black.
yeah, but he does that all the
We
time.
do that all the time, but our channel went black. We've always planned a system that if we were to ever lose a crew or have some sort of major world event like this, that we can hit buttons and, like the BBC, go into a black mode. And we were live for the Queen this morning and did that as well. But I can agree with you, Dan, that we knew it was coming, especially after Philip. We all thought it was going to be sooner than later at that point, but even this morning, having those few hours of kind of not heads up, but like, hey, it's coming. The moment that it was declared, we were all in our Discord, and it was.
Lindsay said it was. She texted me while I was at work. She said that the family had been called to Balmoral, and she knew it was absolutely serious. They're spread out, so to get everybody there that was available to get there.
And unfortunately, most of them didn't make it.
Yeah.
But Charles was there, which I'd say if any of them was the most important. And it's come out that rumors are that part of her last words were "God save the king." So having that handoff from her to him is quite dramatic, but quite special as well.
Now,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Of course, being American, I am clueless. But they're already talking about money change. When will they just sort of let Elizabeth's
blurred, but
they let Elizabeth's currency sort of fade out of circulation and bring Charles in? Or will they pull all her currency and it's now Charles?
That depends. That depends on the bureaucracy. That's got nothing to do with the family. That's Parliament, and that's the part, the Treasury Department, basically what we'd call it over here.
I know that they've said, and I've talked to some of our team that's in the UK and Scotland, because she's also in their passport, and obviously on a lot of other stuff over there. Effective today, no more will be minted or printed with anything. So there will be a period where there will be no more money minted with her on it. They'll be paused until they have a portrait of the new king to go on it. The money and passports that already exist will remain valid.
Yep.
Over time, they may be brought out of circulation. I know we've pulled a bunch of bills that we have aside with her on it just to put in keepsakes at this point now, even from some of the older bills. But I don't see them pulling it just because of how big of a, like, she's on the back of all of our coins and only one of our bills now, because we've redid our bills a few years ago. But I don't see them changing out all the, it's not a priority. But
No.
the new stuff is going to be the big switch over of, when do the first coins and bills with the king kind of drop and stuff. So.
Well, let's hope they take their time on that and do it right. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and there's going to be obviously some commemorative collections and stuff as well.
Yeah,
Big one UK stamps.
I've still got coins and paper money from our last visit in 2011, and they had already changed some of the notes and pulled them for circulation in between then and 2018. So there was a time when I had a £5 note that was good, and then all of a sudden it was just something of interest to coin collectors, numismatists.
It became a bookmark.
Oh no, it goes in the collection with the Irish, Scottish, and Welsh pound notes, because pounds are now coins, not notes. I've got a collection of stuff. It may not be worth anything, but it means something to me because Lindsay's dad collected these, and they went out of official circulation years before he passed away. And it's just when we went over in 2010 for his funeral, I made sure that loose pocket change and stuff like that, and things that he had squirreled away, if it weren't of any benefit to the family, because they were just paper now, they were just like stamps, not like real money. I got as many of them as possible, and he sent me all kinds of things through the mail. I've got British coins from before they went to the decimal system.
I was going to say, we've got a framed one that we actually just refurbished last summer, and it's the full collection before the decimal system.
I've got a Crown Royal bag full of coins from all over the world, and those went in there with pride of place, let me tell you. And I've got a photo album that I stuck lots of, like I said, the Scottish pound notes and Irish pound notes, and when pound notes were phased out for coins, and the notes were no longer acceptable anywhere. I mean, they're basically, like I said, they're just stamps. Hey, Rich, get the dog sorted?
Yep.
Now, have y'all seen the picture? I don't know which castle this is, but this was just right before the announcement.
So that was at Buckingham Palace.
At Buckingham?
In London.
Yeah.
It kind of I don't think it could have been more fitting. It rained all morning and all afternoon at Buckingham and at Balmoral. And this picture was actually taken as the announcement was being made and the flag was being lowered. So as the flag came down, you actually started to see the sun come out and then the double rainbow. And it stayed like that through sunset. And there were some beautiful sunset pictures from the opposite side of this with the statue and then Buckingham Palace with the sunset behind it. And until it went dark, and then it started to rain again. So it was kind of fitting in many ways.
Yeah, that couldn't have been any more perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Zach, our local newspaper, the Chattanooga Times Free Press, You know how there's an editorial cartoonist at every newspaper. He released this one today, or later this evening, or earlier this evening, and it is one that actually hurt me. Uh, are you ready? This one's
I haven't been ready all day.
this
Let's go for it.
this one's gonna hurt, but you're gonna love it.
Haven't seen that one yet today, but wow, yeah.
That's our local. And if you see the tag says UK.
That's a kick right in the feels, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was the one thing it was really interesting going through today while being on the Discord. I've been on it since basically the news broke in BBC that the family was called. And we're quite a variety of people, Americans, Canadian, UK, Scotland, all over. So it's interesting seeing it affect each person differently, from those of us that are, obsessed and follow the monarchy closely to those that know almost nothing. And it still hits everyone. There will never be another monarchy that affects the world this much. Monarchies are kind of fading out, and she was the last one, 70 years.
70 years.
Yeah. She was monarch for almost more than half of Canada. It's like 45% of the existence of my entire country. She was our monarch,
Yeah.
which is
And,
astounding.
It'll be at least 150 years before there's a possibility of another queen. There's 4 generations that only knew queen. I was watching ITV earlier, and the news announcer was, kept saying, God save the queen, God, and they would have to correct him, king.
Mm-hmm.
King. He's going, I'm sorry. I mean, it got so bad that he looked up and says, I'm going to have to take a break. So they went to the girl, came back a couple seconds later, and somebody else was sitting in his chair. Of course, when I heard that the family called, I said, she's already gone.
Not quite, but
It was pretty quick. I think the fact that we, the last photos of Her Majesty were her meeting the new Prime Minister on Tuesday, I think it was, and she looked great. She had a bruise on her hand, but other than that, she looked really good. So I've said, it's awful, but it's a blessing that she went peacefully.
And quickly.
That's what she deserved, is peacefully and quickly. It's something that I remember the first time saying king today in multiple different instances, and God saved it. It doesn't feel right, and it's going to take some time to get used to it. And it's something that it's not going to be 70 years until we have to go through it again. Unfortunately, this is something we're going to have 3 maybe times in the equal amount of time we had her reigning. Just
Zach, I have to interrupt you for a minute. Starlight, warning. Anymore, and you will go away so fast, you'll think the door hits you in the face. Last warning. Okay, back to Zach.
No, you're good. I appreciate that. That's important. But yeah, it'll be something that we slowly get used to.
Yep.
And saying king again, which is really weird.
Hasn't happened in 70 plus years. Yeah.
He'll make an address tomorrow, from what it sounds like. So.
It was almost a year before she was crowned, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 16 months from when her dad died to when she took over, partly because of her age. She wasn't 25 yet, So there was partlet stuff there. Was also she was a kid and technically and all this other stuff, but there was parts of the age limits and stuff that she had to
And
go
you
through.
will never be back, Starlight.
Yep.
I don't know if that was one of your people, but
No, I don't recognize the name.
No, it was just another troll coming in.
Yeah, and sadly there are a lot of those today.
Yeah.
well,
I don't know what joy they
uh,
get out of it, but there's a special place for all of them.
yeah. And I was trying. Nice warning,
Yeah, really. And I
We
I
mentioned
love I
trolls and
love con-
Brian.
I love conspiracy theories as much as the next guy. I find them enormously entertaining and imaginative, even if they're usually very unbelievable. But and Brian K. Morris came running when we hollered for trolls. Ah, Lord. Yep. A lot of people have done touching Facebook posts and wound up being touched in the wrong way by somebody that was trying to get a rise out of.
I don't
Um,
know if you saw mine. I said, rumor has it the London Bridge is in a dire situation. Uh, it may fall. Then later on, after the announcement, I said, London Bridge has fallen. And Zach, being sort of in media,
I know
that
that phrase.
that was the code.
Yep. It's a code we all wish we never had to hear, but I had I've studied the protocol for years. I've always just found it interesting how much it's been planned,
mhm.
Yeah,
how much
Charles.
should be planned.
Lord, they had about 20, 30 extra years that they didn't think they were going to have. So this stuff was in the code book for a long time.
And that code was a lot because of her, because of
Mhm.
what happened with her father. When her father died, she was in Africa and had the plane, and they had to wait for a dress because there was not a plan of if there was a dramatic event and there was a
Mhm.
change in monarchy. And she said she never wanted that to happen again. Now the question is, how quickly, or are there already future plans? Because you got
Yes,
to look
I
forward
would.
with the age of people.
Hey,
I would
Charles
guess
is
so.
Charles is 70. What, 20, 25 max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's not expected that he will hold monarchy and reign until he dies. It is highly expected he will abdicate at some point. He has also already stated prior to today's events that he will reign with William by his side, and they will reign together because that's what the Queen would want. I think he's understanding that the future of the monarchy stands with him. Everyone wants King William. King Charles, not so much. There's a large part of the population that doesn't, and he needs to keep it together, or it's going to change or end with him.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Now, before Elizabeth, wasn't it a tradition for the ruling monarchy when they attained the crown to change their name?
So they have the choice of name of any of their given names. So
mhm.
Charles could have picked Charles, Arthur, Philip, and there was one other. And
And
he
if he'd
chose.
gone with Arthur, people would have lost their
Oh,
minds.
the conspiracy theorists had a field day.
And he
Yep.
wasn't going to go with Philip after Prince Philip so recently. So it was down to Charles and whatever the other one was, which I can't remember. And then it was the prime minister that actually announced that he was keeping Prince Charles and becoming King Charles or he was keeping Charles and becoming King Charles the Third. So,
Yep.
what a first day for her.
Yeah, I remember a docudrama about Elizabeth, and I remember the commercials were always playing the bit about what's wrong with my given name.
Yeah, it's,
Queen Donna.
Queen consort is
Queen consort. Yeah, not Queen. Queen. How do you pronounce the word? Not Regina, but there was a special reigning queen, which is some. The word is Latin, which explains why I can't pronounce it. But
You're pretty close there. It was something along the lines of Regina, something.
mhm.
yeah. Well, now that William is a heartbeat away, what will Kate be called?
There
Queen
is a
consort.
large portion of the Commonwealth that want her to be queen. William reportedly did already talk to the queen many times about changing policy that would allow her to become queen because she'd be a perfect queen, and then we'd have a king and queen that a lot of the monarchy want or a lot of Commonwealth want. But there would have to be changes. At this point, she would become a queen consort as well,
Mhm.
but we know she would be operating even under that title as if she was queen and would
Yeah.
get the respect as if she was queen.
Yep.
She already does.
Something would have to happen to him.
She still wouldn't become queen. She's
It would have to
she's
be
not
a
in line.
massive. It would have to be a massive accident where all the rest of the heirs.
Well,
Well,
you got about 80 of them.
actually, they did some restructuring. I think it was in the 90s or early 2000. No matter what, if William dies before becoming king, George will become king.
Yeah, it goes down to George, and then Charlotte, and then Louis, and then back to Harry. And then if George were to ever have children, then it goes to those children first.
Mhm.
Yeah. If George has kids, it pretty much bumps Harry completely out of the line.
A
Which
little
at
bit
the
to the
point,
side, but
which at
I
the point
don't
we're
think he
at,
would complain.
yeah. And the only reason he's still in the line of succession is because he's blood, and that can't be removed. He's been removed from all of his other royal duties. So
Yeah.
even if he were to one day be called upon, it would be highly expected that he would abdicate in honor of his grandmother's wishes and the outcomes that were made by his decisions.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a royal family. The rules of succession are extremely abstruse, for want of a better word, and they get complicated. They get real complicated. But if nothing disastrous happens, then everything follows a established pattern. When the pattern gets broken, that's when weird stuff goes on.
And that's why the kids will no longer be allowed to travel with William.
Hmm.
Is to protect that line of succession.
Yep. Uh, and neither of the boys will be allowed to fly a helicopter again. Too dangerous. Ah. But they did get their military service in, which is important. Yeah, King Ralph. Yeah, that was.
That was a good movie.
Well, I mean, it's a good actor. He rarely did horrible movies.
So on that screen share, if you wanted to pull that up, Joe, that is the updated line of succession as of this afternoon.
Charles, William, George, Charlotte, Louis, Beatrice, Andrew.
No,
It
it loops
moves.
around.
Oh, it loops around the other way.
The weird
Harry,
one, yeah.
Archie. Yeah. Okay. Lilibet. Oh, that is a beautiful name. Then Andrew, Beatrice, Sienna, and Eugenie, August Philip, Edward, and James.
very British royal names, but
Hey.
lots of babies on that succession line.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And they would have to have um, what is it? Not guardians. Regents? No. What is the word? I can't remember.
is if they came into
If they were underage as children, they would have to be somebody standing
there'd
there.
be someone that would be there with them until they could fully ascend. They would technically already be king or queen until that they just couldn't do all the coronation and everything, which is really the biggest question left now because of the London Bridge operations. We know everything really up to the funeral, basically. The coronation will be decided by King Charles on whenever he decides the nation and the monarchy have grieved and mourned enough. He will then call upon the coronation operations to begin.
Yep. And knowing him, he's not going to push it to be real quick. He loved his mama.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to his speech tomorrow as the new king. He's cried before giving speeches, and now he is our king. And it's going to be a very different speech to have from the monarchy, because he really did love her. So he cried during the Diamond Jubilee, and that was a celebration, and she was there. So we'll see what happens.
He knew the time was coming.
Well, as all the U.S. media says, he's finally filling his destiny.
Well, he's had a lifetime of training.
Yeah.
And I mean that serious. What is he, 72?
Somewhere around there.
He's been pretty much schooled since birth on how to do the job. Talk about an internship.
Yeah, he's 73.
73, okay.
Almost 74 in November.
Okay, 74.
Yeah.
He's lucky to have another 20 years in him.
Yeah. Don't we all be that lucky? Yeah, I mean, seriously.
And if he went 20 years, that makes William nearly 60.
Yes, William would be 60 exactly. William's 40.
Yep, and his training is about to be accelerated.
Oh, yes.
Of course, of course, like I said, it will be at least 150 years before we have an actual queen sit on the throne.
Yeah, because it's King Charles, Prince William, Prince George, and then whatever George
accidents.
Yeah, exactly. But as long as there's nothing else that happens, which they will definitely protect.
If William's 60, that gives him 30 years. All right, there's 50. That would put George at
59.
59?
Basically same age as his dad when he will ascend, if everything goes full.
So, well, at least 100 years. And if George has a boy first,
hey,
there may not be another Queen of England.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier. It is very possible that we have seen the last Queen of England ever. We don't know how long, obviously, the monarchy will stand as the world evolves. But definitely possible.
Hey, Kiri.
Hey, Kiri.
Oh, but yeah, Zach, it's been a rough day.
Yeah, it has been.
Of course, he's now an American citizen, but one of Elizabeth's subjects is facing some serious issues in Texas right now.
I love it. That was good.
How'd you like that segue?
I was like, whatever subject, what is going? Yeah, he is having some issues, isn't he? Just doesn't stop burning.
Oh. Now, how would you like to be the guy that owned the camera van sitting right there next to the fire?
Yes, please.
You saw
please.
Yes, please.
Do you think he was sweating bullets?
Oh yeah.
Filing an insurance claim while filming. Ah,
I think Elon should just make a tweet. We are burning Starbase in honor of Her Majesty. And just fully just take control. Let's say it's an eternal flame. We'll just let it burn or something.
he could probably arrange that.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Carl is asked. Uh-oh. Wrong button.
I ain't touched none. You did that yourself.
Yeah, well, we're not going to throw any audio.
But yeah, it's still burning.
Yeah, Carl, it's not looking any better.
No, it don't look no smaller, but it looks like it's gone further to the right, so that would be
Yeah.
towards the Gulf.
It's that'd be a way.
That'd be a way.
So in to give you direction from here, we're looking kind of over what some have dubbed the reflecting pool that follows the highway right in front of the suborbital tower, suborbital farm. The Gulf is straight on the other side of this angle.
Oh, okay. So it's headed inland.
Yeah, it's kind of following the coast, which
Okay.
there are lots of large bodies of water in there, especially depending how much rain they've had recently. So, I mean, it's not going to turn into a massive forest fire, wildfire. It's not the first fire they've had down there either. But at the point that I'm curious to see how they're handling this. I think it's going to be something that the FAA also looks at, because this is part of their environmental impact that they were just approved on, is if you have a RUD or some sort of issue, how will you restore the wildlife reserve that's right there? That's what's burning right now.
There is a fire truck out there by the flames.
Have they released one out there now?
Yeah.
Most of them are still at the checkpoint.
If you look just to the left of the big major fire, you can see a light moving in towards it. Just a few minutes ago, it was off by the tower. And if you look off to the right under that light, you see some lights flashing, and then now a car's headed into the...
Oh, yeah, the cherries are blazing. You can see it reflected on the road.
I like the fact it's moving away from the launch pad, even though the wind is appearing to blow towards the launch pad. So that means it's burned out most of the stuff close by that it could have used for fuel.
Yes.
Well, at one time, it was over by the suborbital tank farm.
Oh Lord, that would not be good.
Yeah, and the and at the base of the tower, it's moved around quite a bit. I'm really curious to find out what they say, if they ever say what lit it. There had to obviously be something under the rocket that got spewed out and lit stuff, because the flames don't shoot that far during a static.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah.
SpaceX is doing an impression of the Russian space program.
Okay. So what have I missed? There was a mild domestic situation with my mom and dad, so I've just everything's okay. It's just things kind of went a little sideways there. So what was I looking at there?
You were looking at the SpaceX launch facilities in Texas. That's a static fire today. The static fire was at 4:30. That was live.
So I'm guessing
Long
Doppelganger
duration.
is Heather.
Yes, doppelganger's Heather.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought for a minute there they were mistaking Stephanie for our Heather.
Um, is did they light? I take it they accidentally lit the local shrubbery on fire.
Yeah,
Okay, and
they did.
they're in South Texas, right?
Yeah, they did a 6 engine static fire. They
Oh,
lit 3 sea level and 3 vacuum engines. It was
Ace,
what it was a long burn. It was what 6 seconds? Is that what they said?
Yeah, 6, 7 seconds for it.
Ace wants to know what a static fire is.
a static fire is when there's no intent to launch, but you're testing out the engines in a full blown ignition. You've just basically got them bolted down some way. There's multiple ways to do it. You can actually just put together the engines in the configuration you want, and just run it that way from a special test uh, structure, or you can actually go ahead and install them in a stage and just clamp the stage down.
The parking brake was locked.
The parking brake was locked. Very well put. Yes, ain't going anywhere. So
They're actually talking about when they do the full 33 engine static fire on the
uh-huh.
booster, they
Yeah.
may have to fill it up completely so
Just
it
to weigh it
doesn't
down.
so it doesn't launch when they fire all
Oh,
33
yeah,
engines.
so it's
Well,
too heavy to actually hop.
yeah, yeah. You wanna make sure that you, and see a lot of times in stuff like this, the tanks, the pressurized tanks are part of the structural integrity of the overall design. So if the thing is basically empty, you can wind up with it tearing itself apart.
Yeah.
And if it tears loose from the moorings, then it's going regardless.
Might not go far, but it'll be spectacular.
Yeah. How far south in Texas are they?
They're in Brownsville.
2 miles from the border.
Oh, okay. They're way the hell far south. Okay. Yeah, that's called brush country down there.
Damn tumbleweeds.
Mesquite, blackbrush, uh, all kinds of nasty, thorny things.
Well, when it first started burning, the smoke was coal black. I'm thinking, oh hell, they've caught something on fire. I was
And
actually
it's
expecting
getting bigger right now. It's
Yeah.
still growing.
I was expecting it to actually hit. They've got a vent out there. I don't know if
Oh,
if
excuse
it's
me.
nitrogen that vents out there or oxygen, but I was expecting it to run up that vent line.
Ooh, that would be bad.
That would be bad. Can somebody pop me a link to look at it?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, either Joe Dog or Zach. The two people
Uh,
competent with those systems,
Whoever Stratoblaster is, yeah, they just had several days of rain, but
which
the
is a good
terrain,
thing.
it's a good thing, yeah, but the terrain down there is such that a lot of it is going to tend to run off really quick.
Hmm.
It's just it's one step removed from desert, although it is heavily brush.
Yeah.
So that
And
that's not
it's got the Gulf of Mexico on the far side, and then a swamp on this side.
okay.
But it's dry land that runs straight up to the factory.
Yeah, and they're still holding rescue crews at the checkpoint. I haven't seen. I was scrolling back, Joe, and I don't think anything other than drones went up to
Okay.
it.
Now, well, I saw a car
Did they
over
send
there
them? Okay.
headed into the
I don't
plant.
think the ship's detanked yet, or if it is, I think it's like just now finishing because it was not detanking for quite a while.
Yeah, you really don't want to dump oxygen and methane into a brush fire.
You don't want to dump. Forget the methane. You don't want to dump the oxygen into the brush fire. Okay, we got road closures. Oh me.
If you want some really pretty shots for the news,
Well, we almost had some pretty shots out of Florida last week, so we might get to do it all again in a week and a half.
Week and a half. I heard September 29th.
23rd and 27th are the 2 dates that have been requested to the range for launch.
23rd is my birthday.
Oh, you might get a big firework.
early happy birthday.
That would be cool.
On the 17th, they're going to do like a half wet dress where they go all the way into fast fill of both tanks of the core stage because that's where they've always found the leak. And then if they can pass that, they'll stop, recycle, and then actually try down. So, yay, going back down to Florida.
Okay. Me and Stephanie were sitting here for day one, and it was like, yeah.
I got my butt up at dark 30 for me, and then they didn't even.
Yep, I have one souvenir from that day. So I was in. Oh, the blur's on. Let's see. Well, there we go. Sort of focus.
Cool.
This is how worried they were about the press corps in the bullpen when they announced the crack that they had discovered. So we have an update. There might be a crack. A lady walks out with a bin. Here's the Orion stress balls and the Krispy Kreme donuts. Who wants one? And I'm not kidding. The entire media bullpen, while they're typing, the early Artemis Explodes articles, because everyone's pre-writing.
The people that need that are the people sitting console, doggone it. And thank you, whoever Stratoblaster is. Thank you very much. I'm getting old, but that's all right. I'll manage. This one's gonna be rough. This will be my first birthday without Daryl. So hey, it's gonna be rough.
Well, you remember what I told you? Self-care first.
I know. It might be good for me to do that though, because that'll keep me busy.
Yeah. Of course, this
that is growing, isn't it? It's moving out.
Well, that's not the first brush fire they started with one of those Raptor engines.
They need to get out there before they do the testing and do some fire breaks and controlled burns.
Well, I think they got one right now.
Water suppression system.
That's not a controlled burn, baby.
That's what they're calling it.
Yep.
Yeah, the trouble isn't there a wildlife refuge in that area?
That is a wildlife refuge.
What is on fire is a wildlife refuge.
Well, half of it's a wildlife refuge. The other half
that's
is
going to be a rather large environmental impact statement they're going to have to file on that one.
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
No. And
look at it move.
All the anacondas are going to run to the base, or slither to the base.
That's Florida.
Wow.
I think they moved.
It is. No,
it's chugging.
Yeah, it suddenly just broke out to the right.
Yeah.
I think that is. No, that thing's got headlights on it.
Which thing?
What just broke out to the right, obviously.
Yeah, what's breaking out to the right? That's headlights.
Well, maybe they are creating a fire break. Maybe they're backlighting it.
Yeah, there's definitely something out there now. But I mean, they're still
either that or somebody is running the you know what away.
But they're holding all the fire trucks at the roadblock. That's what's odd to me. So whatever's out there, which is definitely a vehicle, is
Or a homeless camp.
Now, why do I see a Tesla truck with a long logging chain on the back of it dragging a flaming tire to start a fire break? We used to do that stuff on the farm. We'd plow around the field about 20 or 30 feet. It might be a 30-acre field, and then set the inside on fire. And if it went a little too close to the woods, you'd just drag a tire behind the tractor and kind of
Well,
take away the fuel.
I don't know if y'all are looking at the chat over on the video there, but somebody else has noted that it looks like somebody's out there on the far right. And somebody else has said there's actually aviation firefighting not too far off, and they could actually bring in helicopters and dump water. And now we're getting a report that firefighters are on the scene now. So,
Hey, Rob, how are you doing? And thank you for posting those past posters from HallowCon and the artwork. I want to get with you sometime real soon to see if we can make a commemorative shirt with all your artwork on it.
Yeah, they just allowed 5 or 6 vehicles through the roadblock, all with emergency lights on it. So that's the first. The bigger fire trucks are still at the roadblock, though. But they let through some trucks or SUVs, so maybe we'll finally see some fighting.
Okay, cool.
There's something that looks like a flashlight there in the middle of it.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said before. Can you ask again?
Oh, please turn her off.
That was my Google.
Turn
She
her
hardly-
off too.
She hardly ever chimes in. I hardly hear from her.
Hey, as long as nobody thinks that I meant Stephanie, fine. But turn off the devices.
You've
will
got
you?
both of them?
Yes.
Are you sure you're not going to accidentally summon a demon circle in your office?
No,
No.
he hasn't installed Windows 95 yet.
Well, the thing is,
98.
98.
there was a bug to where they would argue with each other.
Okay.
It was great.
There was a third one that you could throw in the mix as well. I don't remember what that was, but I've
Siri.
never seen a video.
Siri. Yep.
We got
And
got
actually,
Bubba
that would be a good home protection device to have 3 computer voices arguing with each other for the entire 2 weeks you're on vacation.
Yeah.
Just have to have good speakers on the computer.
Of course, the Amazon, you can set it to bark like a dog. I mean, actual dog barks when it hears a noise while you're away.
There's a glass break mode on it as well, so that if it hears that tone, it could do whatever subset you want. Call the police. If you have it set up so that you've got lights that are responsive with it, you can have it darken the lights or turn the lights red. In the house that we just recently vacated, if I said her name and then said red alert, it would turn all the lights in the house off. It would turn the lights in the front room bright red and play Mortal Kombat.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Well, shortly thereafter, I would be coming out of the hallway with my broadsword over my shoulder.
I think a recording of a shotgun being chambered would be a real good sound effect to play in that situation.
Somebody posted up, it was the prescribed EPA silt fence that caught fire that set everything else on fire. That would
Okay.
explain what was putting out all the black smoke at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you get that stuff started, you can't put it out. You have to actually bury silt fence to get it to go out.
Yeah. That's some.
So the EPA mandated something that has caused this
Yes.
because it is now off the screen. The front edge is off the screen to the right.
And
Color
all
me
those little lights you
surprised.
see off in the distance between the tower and the fire,
Mm-hmm.
that's other little fires.
Yeah.
And that land runs about 3.5 miles until it will hit water and the hard edge of the road. Because it'll run all the way like across the road from the build site before it hits
Depending
water.
depending on what the road's made out of, it may set the road on fire.
Dirt.
It's okay. They could repave that road in a week. I literally watched them repave it for the event in February.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
just saying that it's not having
not
a
a
road
hard
there
wall.
is not a fire break.
Yeah.
Unless it's concrete.
Just a bunch of fire trucks, water hoses.
does this mean that the EPA is going to be charged with destroying a wildlife refuge?
Well, considering that they were the ones who caused the
Fire
mine
hazard.
the mine effluvium in Colorado to get into the water streams into the watershed. Just because they claim to be EPA does not necessarily mean that they know what they're doing.
Nope.
They're a government agency. I automatically assume that they do not know what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
just doing something for the sake of filing paperwork. Excuse me, folks. I have a very jaundiced view of bureaucracies of any shape and form. But I'm an old guy. I've seen a lot of stuff go down. Not all of it good.
Did you guys see the video I posted of the Tesla truck doing the acceleration, coming around the corner, and the guy nailing it? It does like 0 to 60 in like 10 seconds, fully loaded.
I used to could
Put
do
it up
that
here.
with my Chevy Impala, but
How about with
Put
an
it up
80,000 pound tractor trailer?
nope, never pulled any trailers.
But yeah, it sounds like a spaceship.
Put it up here. You can't
But-
talk about something like that in front of me and expect to get away with not showing it to me.
Well, I don't want to risk the problem. What I'll do is tag you in it.
Okay,
I just gotta
that'll work.
That'll work. Yep.
Yeah, I get your issue now. They have just moved the camera to get the fire in the tower is now off all the way over to the left. And they still don't quite have it all in, although I think some of that is vehicles.
Yeah.
And Rich, you laughed when I mentioned my 70 Impala.
I had my 75 Impala that I could do the same thing.
Yeah, I was not exaggerating. And it actually got faster when I flipped the top of the air cleaner upside down so that the Rochester Quadrajet could get air from all 360 degrees. It would roar, but only if you stepped down hard and kicked in the 4-barrel. Other than that, it was very quiet.
Oh, I had a 72 Chevelle Super Sport, Well, it was the heavy Chevy Super Sport. It wasn't officially the Super Sport, but it had everything a Super Sport had. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was factory order. Well,
And what were you saying?
I built the engine into a 383 stroker running a Carter AVS 850. Had to go to an electric fuel pump because it would run out of gas on
Why
the
do we
top.
not call you Mad Dog instead of Joe Dog?
Uh, but needless to say, you could hear the carburetor from a mile away.
My Impala got up to 140 in a 40. I did not realize there is a fine police officer on the other side of the hill. He clocked me, pulled me over, told me he did not believe what the hell he just saw, made me go back to the beginning of the road, do it again. He would know if I was screwing with it. So I did the exact same thing. He's like, all right, my equipment is working. I did not think something this old ambitiously could get up to that. I catch you doing 1 mile over ever again, you're going to jail, kid. Go home. The speed limit. The next 2 months, I was afraid to go 1 mile over the speed limit. Then the exhaust busted on it. So right up by where the exhaust manifold is coming off the engine, came down off of a hill too fast, broke it. Just broke it right off. Didn't bother getting it fixed. Didn't care. I was 16. Why would I care? Where I lived, there was a lot of hills, so there's a lot of flooding during the really bad rainy season. I was one of the few cars that could actually get through all those flooded areas because my exhaust never got plugged up to kill the engine because of the busted manifold. I truly was a yachtsman.
Did you see the video, Stephanie?
No.
I tagged you in it
Okay.
on
No,
Facebook.
okay. I'm getting. Hang on. I have multiple things up at the moment, and I've been writing. So,
Jealous I am.
well, don't be jealous because I'm finally getting it together after 9 months.
Still applies. There's the house is falling apart. I've got too many distractions and too many depressing things going on, and my depressing things are not as big as your depressing things, but you know, situational. Um, there's stuff I need to do that is not getting done, but needs to, and then there's writing that needs to happen, and the other stuff is interrupting, and I'm not happy about that, but life does get in the way sometimes.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yep.
Oh, Zach, they've actually got the league guys setting backfires going now.
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
seeing that.
Yeah, I got some writing done between Saturday and today that I never wanted to write.
Yeah, that was a cool
Yeah.
acceleration, Joe.
And it sounds like I said, it sounds like a spaceship.
It kind of does, yeah.
And the neat thing about it is, when you take your foot off the go pedal, can't say the gas. It's called the go pedal. When you take the foot off the go pedal,
Mm-hmm.
it has regenerative braking, which is like a Jake brake. But instead of going, blah, 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 it charges the battery.
Cool. Yeah,
So
I can see people out there walking now with the reflective
With
gear.
with their vest and headlamp.
Yeah. And yeah, it does look like they might be setting backfires.
Taking them long enough to plan it, but it does take the time to see how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's nothing really out there other than the wildlife reserve for it to damage. It's not like they're having to worry about it running into a community or anything,
Yeah.
unless it jumps the road. But it's going the opposite direction of the village, anyways. So,
And the coyotes will just swim across the little pond.
Yeah, the birds will fly off, and it should.
Oh, there have been coyotes in the launch site.
yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
believe
doubt
it.
I was taking somebody home from a college party back in the mid '70s, late '70s, and pulled into a dormitory parking lot, University of Georgia. Coyote jumped out of a Dempsey dumpster and ran across the parking lot. Downtown Athens, University of Georgia campus.
Are you watching Labs stream, Zach?
I've got them all running.
Ah,
Did you see Labs thing across the bottom with the timestamps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Road closed, pad clear, all that.
Yep.
Siren at 6:19 or 16:19. Static fire at 16:30. Brush fire at 16:31.
Yeah.
And it's now been coming up on 5 hours. That's been burning.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, that's right. Yeah, Texas is my time zone.
But it's a good rehearsal. When they light all 33 of those, they're going to have some fires on the ground no matter what they do.
Oh, yeah. When they light them up, yeah.
light all 33 of them. The concrete will catch fire, damn it. Well, it'll seem like that, but
You can burn concrete if you got thermite.
I can neither confirm nor deny what my father might have had laying around that Mom asked me to get rid of after his funeral.
Well, I have a very intelligent young nephew who recently graduated with a couple of master's degrees. And when he was younger, he was constantly wanting to make stuff, and he don't know where he found the information, but he found out about thermite, and he was trying his dead level best to talk my father into helping him make a batch of thermite and then take it out in the backyard and light it to see what it would do. And I was like, no, you're not. We are not burning clear through to China.
Yeah, we don't need another well.
Hey, at
Timmy,
least it
Timmy
wasn't.
plugged up the one we got.
Yeah, really.
Hey, at least it wasn't tannerite.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, this guy, grandma finally passed away, and they had to clear the land because they sold it to a developer.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy puts 500 pounds of tannerite in the old family barn.
Oh dear.
And hits it with the 50 cal.
Okay.
They didn't have to worry about picking up the barn.
Oh,
they didn't have to worry about sweeping up the splinters either. Although the tin roof might have made orbit.
Did y'all see my post about the rat shot in Stupid O'Clock?
Mm-hmm.
50 cal BMG rat shot. When you want to kill that son of a bitch in the next county and let the neighbors know you were the one that did it.
And it was a big son of a bitch.
Ratzilla, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. Now, did you see the one about the fellow that had packed it was either a microwave or a refrigerator or a stove with tannerite and backed off what he thought was a safe distance
Oh no.
and shot into it and it blew up and a door flew off of the thing that blew up and like hit him in the head.
Oh dear.
I mean, camera caught every bit of it.
Well,
Oh,
there was one where the guy launched or did that with the stove, and he was smart enough to hide behind. It was a tree that had a fork, but I mean it was a tree, big tree. When he pulled the trigger, boom! It exploded, and he ducked, and the door wrapped around the tree.
that is not stuff I would really like to play with,
No.
actually.
No. 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 No.
That's some serious business there. If I had a serious purpose for it, yeah, I wouldn't mind having some, but not just to see stuff. I can buy firecrackers, I don't need to.
So, two humorous points. The area that I live in and grew up in, we are Northwest Indiana. We call ourselves the region. We call ourselves Region Rats. So the 50 cal to get rid of rats. It's kind of humorous when you think of, 6'4", 400 pounds rat. Um, and then the other was on two different video feeds I was watching today. Involved the same story told from two different points of view. Apparently, a gentleman had gotten into some type of altercation with an ex-paramour of his wife or something like that, and he tried to kill the guy. He ends up shooting him, shoots him in the head, but it only grazes him, and the bullet gets lodged in a tree. 20 years later, the guy is clearing some of the trees around with his grandkid, drilled several holes into this huge tree, puts dynamite in it to go ahead and blow it up. That projectile that was lodged in the tree 20 years ago ends up being blasted back at him, hitting him in the temple and killing him. Cannot verify the truth of that, but it is one of those that truth is stranger than fiction, I believe could actually happen.
Karma is sometimes patient.
And is
Karma likes to
almost
make it
always a bitch.
Oh no, I didn't lose it. It's still back there behind me, Rob.
He's inside now.
Yeah, that's the Edwardian control room.
Okay,
From
what the heck is the light up in the air now? Have they got
Drone?
a drone?
Yeah.
Didn't
They've got a bunch of them.
The aerial
I don't know. Is that a drone or is that
Is that a helicopter?
production site?
Drone.
I never knew a drone to have flashing lights. Oh,
Not sure.
focus.
Hey, it's Elon's drone. It's probably got a Blaupunk.
Well, I don't understand why they're not bringing in helicopters to dump water.
I think they're just letting it burning it, clearing it.
Yeah.
Because
They got a lot more testing to do. May as well get rid of it now.
Yeah, really. Otherwise, they'll have to do it all over again.
Well, in that case, then the local firefighters are letting it happen, in which case the EPA shouldn't have a leg to stand on in terms of fussing at SpaceX.
It's a government. They'll find a way.
You will.
Working for a law firm that had an environmental group practice area, the stuff that they do, there's always legalese to give them the right to spank someone and not be looked at
Not be held
crosswise.
accountable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it was their gizmo that they mandated that caused the problem, it's their fault anyway.
Mhm.
So they
Rich, have
definitely
you
find a way
been
to
watching?
deflect.
Rich, have
Sorry.
you been watching She-Hulk?
No, I have not had a chance yet.
Part of it takes place in the lawyer's office, since Jennifer Walters is a
Yeah.
lawyer, and you would probably appreciate the staff humor.
My problem is trying to figure out if it is Misty safe.
So far, it's a comedy.
Okay. It's just if there's too much scantily clad and stuff like that, even though it's not Disney Plus, she might have some issues.
Yeah. Well, scantily clad, no.
Because She-Hulk in the comics in the 80s and 90s, it was as close to adult entertainment as young teenage boys can get for less than $1.
Yeah.
I just read the stupidest remark over on the video where they're covering the fire.
Which one?
It might be static fire, but the static built up for a reason. You know what was the reason for the static?
What?
No, that was the statement. That was the question.
What was the reason for the static?
They don't know. That's what they're asking.
That's
They seem
not-
to think that the wildfire is the static fire.
No, they seem to think that static electricity called the fire, and how did the rocket build up static electricity?
Yeah.
Well,
See, there's these air molecules that brush up against it all the time and throw off free electrons.
I'm sorry, I got to hit the button.
What died in here?
Well, hopefully it wasn't one of my jokes.
Punch.
There's something really spooky in here. What did I tell you?
Oh, I was holding the wrong side. There we go.
Sorry, I got scared.
And that's going to be at HallowCon, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Gonna have to buy a bigger hammer.
Sledge ain't going to cut it. I recommend Mjolnir.
Dan, I thought
If
you were
I
just
could
going to have
tote
a long talk with me. Now you want to break stuff.
I didn't specify stuff. Ah, Jethro. One of these days.
Oh, and I think it's Amazon. Yeah, Amazon Prime has Barney Miller now. And I've read somewhere that police officers say that is the truest police show out there.
I know it was a lot of fun back during the day.
Used to watch that with my mom. I used to get to stay up late to watch it.
Oh.
The
Now
extra-
they're wanting to put porta potties out there. Don't you know what'll happen when you put a porta potty next to a fire?
Mexican space program.
Yep. Beat me to it, damn it.
I don't know. It's a big blue box that goes into orbit. Something tells me the BBC going to sue.
Yeah, but the person inside is not a Time Lord.
Well,
it'll seem endless.
I just realized something.
What?
My father was a very flatulent man. He's being cremated.
Oh hell!
Well, just don't let him put firecrackers in his pockets.
Thank you, Stephanie. I was thinking that one myself.
Just waiting to see if there's any big fire news out of Crown Point now.
Oh, Kerry's got his one-liners again. He says, honestly, his ADHD so severe, it's basically AD4K now.
Look, if somebody has me cremated, I hope they have the good common sense to put like 6 boxes of popcorn in my pocket. Just the microwave stuff, let it go off. We'll have a party. Oh, Lord.
I told you what my best friend has made me promise to do when we were 12, and every so often he makes me still promise to do it because his wife won't let him do it. If he dies before I do, I'm to acquire his body, dress him up as a Darth Vader, or in a Darth Vader costume, and recreate the scene at the end of Jedi. And everyone has to dress up as like Ewoks and other Star Wars characters.
Oh, dang. I thought that car was pulling away real fast, but they were actually zooming out.
Several references at the same time. Not good at that kind of algebra. Oh.
And for everybody watching now, it is just 30 minutes until Dan's own show.
What was it?
The Last Man Standing comes on. Dan, do you want me to load that over onto your page to start your show, or go with it?
I think that the one-off was
Okay.
the way to go.
All right.
Yep. While I would be happy to see the recording and see just whether or not I actually got it right, I don't want to repeat it.
What have I missed?
Oh, I did a eulogy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one, Stephanie.
At the
That
beginning
video
of
you
the-
sent.
Mm-hmm. You did a eulogy for the Queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was
it-
trying to watch it, but it didn't. I missed the first part of the show.
Well, I Joe asked me to do it. I hadn't planned anything, and then I had a script written out. And when I got started, I went, I better just say stuff. When it comes to scripts, I'm not that good. When it comes to saying stuff, I'm good.
And Zach actually gave us a compliment for it.
It was good. He said more than I said. I prepped a statement, and then it came down, and I was a ball of mess and said nothing. So
Well, I wound up very, very choked up, and it was not acting. I may not be a British subject, but she was somebody I respected quite highly throughout all of my life. So,
I mean, even if she's she should be respected for the time she served and with the graciousness she served with.
Yeah, I had to have a talk with my youngest earlier. My wife and I found out because our youngest, messaged us, and Then she had some like smiling and laughing emoji stuff after that, and we're like, what the hell? Why is this funny? And she's like, because she's not immortal after all. I'm like, nobody's immortal, considering everything else that's happened this week. Don't you think that's a little wrong?
Well, one thing's for sure. It does show Keith Richards may be next. Nah, he'll outlive them all.
One day we're going to have to figure out what kind of world we're going to leave for Keith Richards.
Yeah.
And watch him go next week, which makes me seem totally facetious. No, that's an old joke, folks. Along with the ones where it's him and Betty White holding swords, and Betty White's going, "You knew this day was going to come. There can only be one."
Zach, I just thought about it. You know, it'd be so funny that if this fire was started by all the cones.
I have lost you guys. My I can still hear you, but I can't find the video. Oh wait, here we go.
StreamYard.
Yeah, but when I was trying to click on the different links, I wound up breaking out my browser into two separate windows.
Oh
with
no.
multiple tabs, and then I couldn't find anything. So
Stephanie, thank you for doing that, because it only proved one thing. I'm not the only one that does shit like that.
Oh no, not hardly.
2 browsers, 2 separate monitors, 5 tabs on one, 43 on the other.
And somewhere you can hear the soundtrack from Rocky Horror Picture Show coming from a window you don't know which one is.
I don't know if you're watching the other feed that I dropped in there. There is now a fire across from the build site, like at the other end of the road.
Wonderful.
Bargain lovely.
And they're still lighting more. That guy's walking down, lighting one every 30, 40 feet.
Hang on.
Actually, he's not even trying. He's literally just dragging a flame. I was like, it'll catch.
I don't even know.
And it seems to be right.
He's doing.
I remember when we were having to burn off fields, they gave me a...
Uh-oh, she hit the wrong one. There she is.
Yeah, to get everything...
Did that help?
Yeah, I had to get everything back to one browser window so I could keep up with stuff. I was getting lost.
This will be interesting to see what it looks like in the morning. This is going to be scorched starbase.
Hey, at least it's Thursday, so they won't be doing any more testing.
That's true. I got a few days to get it in control.
Carl, your hamster dance, playing in a tab somewhere. I've had to work that call. I've also had to work the dancing baby call for attorneys at the firm. They couldn't figure out how it was up on their screen, where it was playing from, stuff like that.
If I'm not real careful with it, when I'm trying to click on a tab, it will break it out as a separate window.
Yeah.
And that's pain in the butt.
One thing I dislike about Chrome, I can't find the setting to automatically open a new tab when I click on it. I have to manually click on the new tab.
I'm actually running, what is it they call it? What is it they do call it? It's got
Opera, Firefox.
No.
Edge.
Oh, Edge?
Edge, thank you. Yes, Edge. I'm actually running Edge.
I tried that, but it was slower than everything else.
Well, it came on my system, so
Yeah, I've got several copies of it too. It's just um, Firefox has gotten real slow. Chrome was great for the first 2 years, and now it's really slow.
They take
Edge
turns.
was like Windows Explorer, but a hair faster. I mean, ask it a question, and 10 years later, you get an answer rather than
well,
50.
I got tired of Chrome locking things up with eating up all of the memory.
Yeah, that may be my problem now.
Chrome is a
Edge at
memory
least
hog.
does not do that.
Yet,
Yeah. Kiri is saying Microsoft browsers all want to be slow. Kiri, the only reason Microsoft browsers exist so you can download Chrome and Firefox.
Hey, he's not lying.
or Opera.
Safari. Um, actually, oh
Safari was
Lord.
one of the biggest gateways to viruses when it first came out, when it first
Hmm.
became available for non-Mac machines. Um, and I can't count how many times I had to clean off my son's computer because he would download Safari, and then he would just click on it because the icon for it was a chicken bikini, and he was 14. Um, yeah.
Okay. Who remembers Netscape?
Yeah.
Proto Proto Firefox, basically. Oh, that thing was so nice for so long.
Hey, who remembers the AOL browser?
Uh huh.
I remember owning about 50 shiny coasters that I got from AOL for free in the mail. They were good for keeping the coffee table from getting water rings from condensation from drinks.
We would snag them from the various grocery stores to use as coasters. I had a stack of 150 of them.
Oh man, I actually had the AOL floppy disks. I can't remember
MySpace.
what I can't remember what the copyright disabled thing was for floppy disks anymore because I haven't used one in ages. But sort of like on a cassette tape, you put a little piece of tape over a hole, and you could re-record over the original
It's a
cassette
little
tape.
button that you slide. I don't know if you
Yeah.
slide it
Little
up or
switch.
down or to the side.
Open was unlocked. Closed was locked. Um, I remember 57 discs to install Windows.
Well, the stories that originally that wound up becoming my Division 1 series, I originally wrote back in the late 90s. And they were uh, novelettes, basically. They weren't long enough to be full stories, and they needed a lot of polishing when I decided to pull them out and dust them off and see about publishing them. Well, the problem was back then I had stored them on zip drives and floppies. And so now I wanna be able to import them onto my laptop, which only has USB ports. So bless him, my husband actually found floppy and zip drives that ported into a USB port for accessing old uh, media like that, and so I was able to download them and set to
I
them.
just threw away a couple months ago about 17 3.5 drives, two 5 1/4, and about 20 zip drives.
I actually have out in the barn
And a VCR.
a Pentium 1 with 3.5 floppy drive and a 5 1/4 installed. And I remember writing story outlines on a TRS 80 Model 3 with a
Rosario,
plug-in 5 1/4 drive running OS2.
Keisha.
yeah, Rosario and Jack are wanting StreamYard links, but guys, we're about ready to wrap up the show in about 10 minutes. So we'll be back on next or this coming Saturday at 9 p.m. and next Thursday at 9 p.m. What did I say?
You said 9 p.m. for Saturday, which is it's actually 11 p.m.
11 p.m. And if you guys pop back in, then we'll see what we can do to get you on. But yeah, we're gonna have to start wrapping up real quick.
And I was gonna say I'm gonna pop off. I got a couple messages wanting me to jump in comms, but
Okay.
nice seeing y'all. Thanks for
Yeah,
having
well,
me.
thank you for jumping in, Zach. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the great launch coverage you give us, and some of the insights on Starbase since you've actually been there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how it goes. See what it looks like in the morning.
Yeah, Stephanie, I asked Zach. I said, "Does it look as big up in person as it does on screen?" He goes, "Bigger."
Okay.
Yeah, and now if you were in that drone looking down at it, it's going to look like burnt toast with a spike in the middle.
Yeah,
It's like the VAB. You can't grasp actually how big it is because there's nothing around it.
that's true. That's true. I've been there. So
I was there last week. It's still, I understand. I know how big that building is, the VAB, but you standing in the parking lot, you still can't grasp that flag is 22 stories tall. Like, no. But I'm gonna pop off. But we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, thanks, Zach. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Zach.
Thank you.
And Carrie's right. You can tell your story Saturday or in the chat, guys. You know, I'm real sorry, but yeah. Hey, Michaela, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Hi, Michaela. The launch pad is Zach's channel?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
on
I
YouTube.
just wanted to find that and subscribe to that real quick.
Post that in the private chat, please.
Okay, let me. Give me just a second. There we go. Copy over to here. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Rich beat me to it.
Okay.
I was literally right on it on my other screen, so.
I'm bookmarking stuff.
Well, I guess I'm also going to need to. Well, no, might want to wait till after see if the bird flies first. Try to get a hold of Les.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I would love to get Les in here. Rich, Les is he an administrator or just a project lead?
He's a project manager.
Project manager for NASA.
He and I go all the way back to graduate school.
And he's a really neat guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, yeah.
He's the only rocket scientist you'll ever meet.
You need to get him to tell that story.
Oh, I will. Thanks for dropping in, Rob. We appreciate it. And no, Rich, I did not mispronounce it. That's what the shirt says.
Uh-huh. And we're not going to spoil it because he needs to tell the story.
There
I
are some.
assumed it wasn't a mispronunciation, as you said. He's the only one of those that you'd ever
Yeah,
meet.
that's right.
It was not a mispronunciation. That's exactly what the T-shirt says, and he wears it proudly.
Yep.
I wonder if he's ever worn it to a NASA meeting.
Probably not, for the simple reason that those have a
Or
tendency to require shirt and tie and sometimes jacket. So,
or something informal, or
well, yeah.
Well, moderately formal.
yeah.
If it requires a tie, it's not going to be informal.
Yeah, a manager does not show up at a meeting out at NASA in a t-shirt unless it's casual Friday. And even then that would be kind of iffy.
I changed out. It's probably a pullover with a collar.
Mhm. Yeah, that like a polo shirt would be acceptable on casual Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, they got a mess out there, bless them.
Well,
now
um,
here's something that you would like about Elon. Elon has been known to walk through the production site and call employees by their name.
Good for him.
Sounds like another administrator from years back, huh?
Mhm. It's about time for us to play
Almost into the show.
yeah. John's
All right.
not here, so
Yeah, John's not here to just interrupt us while we're talking and
yeah.
I see what you did there.
what? What did I do?
Interrupt us while we're talking, and
Well, that's what it's supposed to do.
yeah, really.
I think tonight we're just going to close out with a picture.
Fair enough.
Um,
Are you still having trouble with people fussing about the high flight?
no, it's just a sort of a respect for the day.
Okay. I'm miffed that I missed the eulogy.
Well, that's the beauty of YouTube. It's available on repeat.
I'll go back and watch a repeat.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Stephanie. I was a little. My vision got blurry for some reason.
Yeah, somebody been chopping onions, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
Of course, I also showed Zach this picture. I got to find it again. Where'd it go? This was posted. This was made by the local Chattanooga editorial artist, cartoonist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to hit you in the feels.
Okay.
Rock solid.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Rich saw it.
Oh. Yeah.
I was dealing with all of it. When I saw that one, it was like, okay, that one hurt.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, Jerry.
she loved them dogs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I heard some of the news media today referring to it as the end of the second Elizabethan period.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had
And I
several
think-
people say that actually.
And I think that is absolutely apropos. So,
Oh wow! But yeah, of course,
eh,
we were talking about once Zach got in here. We were talking about it's very possible we may never. Of course, definitely not in our lifetimes. But there may never be another Queen of England.
true.
As a solo monarch, he means.
Yeah. And if there is, it's going to be 150 years.
Well, I mean, you've got Charles, and then you've got William, and then William's firstborn is a son, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so there's 3 generations right there. I tell you what, though, I'm not keen on Elizabeth's predecessor. I mean successor, because
Yeah.
I don't like what he did to his first wife.
Yeah.
That really, that to me, that says worlds about his personal morals.
Yeah. But they said Camellia or Camille or whatever her name is,
Camilla,
Camilla.
Camilla, that they were a couple before he met Diana.
they were, but you don't do what he did.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. That was just that was beyond
Yeah.
the pale,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
The only explanation, and it's not an excuse, is that it's very European.
Yeah.
That may be, but you're right. It's not an excuse. That to me shows his moral character, and he you know. Anyway, I'm not gonna go. The
Yeah.
words that I want to say, I'm not going to say on the air.
There's a right way and there's a wrong way, and
And there
yeah,
was
that
nothing
was
about
not
that
the
that was
right
right.
way in any way, shape, and or form.
And so, as a consequence, I mean, if he would do that to his girlfriend, if he would do that to his wife, why is he trustworthy?
So true. And yes, Kiri, absolutely. That's what we were talking about.
Yep. Um. All right.
I'd
I'm
much
going to
rather
have to step into the other room.
Okay, you go ahead and get that ready.
I'd much rather be having Diana as queen consort right now than Camilla.
Oh yeah. And what was her name? Mary Elizabeth Angelique.
Um. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor.
All right.
Alexander.
Elizabeth Alexander Mary Windsor. May you rest. May you fly high with the angels. And thank you very much for your service to your Commonwealth. Good night, everybody, and we will see you Saturday night.